Welcome. So, what makes a good deed truly good? It's a question we probably think we have an answer to. But what if the secret isn't in the action itself, but somewhere deeper? Today, we're diving into a really profound answer from the Bhagavad Gita. I mean, think about it. We see acts of charity, discipline, and sacrifice all the time. But are they all really the same? Is an act good just because it looks good on the outside, or is there something else going on beneath the surface? Well, this is where the Gita gives us a fascinating answer. It tells us to look closer. It says the real value of any action isn't about what you do, but why you do it. Yeah, it all comes down to the quality of your intention.
Okay, so how do we even begin to analyze our intentions? The Gita introduces this powerful idea that everything in the universe, from a storm to our own thoughts, is driven by three fundamental energies, or qualities.
They're called the gunas. Now, a great way to think of them is like three invisible filters that color everything we do. The sattvic filter is crystal clear. It's driven by a pure desire for goodness itself. Then you have the rajasic filter, which is all colored by ambition and ego. It's about getting results, being seen. And finally, the tamasic filter is dark and murky, rooted in confusion and delusion. The Gita says every single thing we do passes through one of these filters.
All right, so how does this actually play out in real life? Let's take the idea of austerity or self-discipline as our first example. Now, this isn't just about hardship for its own sake. It's about a focused effort for a higher purpose. But what does the ideal version of that even look like?
And what's so interesting is that the Gita's gold standard for discipline isn't about punishing the body, it's about purifying the mind. This is what's called mental austerity. So what does a truly pure and disciplined mind actually feel like from the inside?
This is what the Gita holds up as the real goal. It's not just one thing, but this whole beautiful inner state. The calm of serenity, the kindness of gentleness, the clarity that comes from inner silence. It's when your impulses are under your own control and your motives are completely pure. That right there is the sattvic ideal of discipline.
And here is where it gets absolutely fascinating. The exact same act of discipline can be sattvic, rajasic, or tamasic. Let's say you're doing it for self-purification, with zero strings attached. That's sattvic. But if you're doing it to get praise, to look good, to build up your reputation, that's rajasic, driven purely by ego. And if it's just stubborn self-torture, or even worse, meant to harm someone, that's purely tamasic. Same action, completely different qualities.
Now, this framework doesn't just apply to how we treat ourselves. Let's look at another really powerful example, charity. We usually just assume giving is always good, right? Well, the Gita asks us to look closer, to check the motive behind the gift. So, a sattvic gift, that's pure generosity. It's given to the right person at the right time simply because it's the right thing to do. No expectation of anything back. A rajasic gift, on the other hand, is basically a transaction. It's given grudgingly or because deep down you expect a favor in return. And a tamasic gift, it's hardly a gift at all. It's given with disrespect, at the wrong time, without any real thought. It just goes to show you, the spirit of the gift is everything.
So if our inner state is so incredibly important, is there a way to consciously elevate our actions, to make them more sattvic? Well, the Gita actually gives us a practical tool, a kind of sacred formula to sanctify what we do.
This phrase, Om Tat Sat, is described as the threefold name of the ultimate reality. So it's not just a chant, it's more like a verbal seal that connects our ordinary actions to something much, much greater than ourselves.
Think of it as a three-step process to purify your intention right in the moment. You start with Om to invoke the divine and sanctify the act. Then, as you perform it, you use Tat, which means that, to dedicate the action to that higher reality, letting go of any personal attachment to the outcome. And you conclude with Sat, to affirm that the act itself is grounded in goodness and truth. It's a really powerful way to consciously elevate what you do.
But even with this powerful formula, the Gita reveals one final, absolutely non-negotiable ingredient that holds everything together. Without this one thing, even the most perfect-looking actions just fall flat. And that ingredient is faith.
And here it is, the bottom line. The Gita says an action that's performed with genuine faith, shraddha, becomes sat. It becomes real, true, beneficial. But any action done without that sincere faith, no matter how impressive it looks on the outside, is asat, which means it's unreal, futile, and ultimately pretty worthless.
And the Gita is incredibly clear on this point. Without that core of genuine belief, our best efforts are, well, they're essentially empty. They have no lasting benefit, not in this life and not in the next. It is faith, and really only faith, that gives our actions true life.
So this brings us right back to where we started. It's a challenge to look past the surface of our own good deeds and ask a much deeper, maybe even a tougher question. It's not just about what we do, but why we're doing it. What is the quality, the intention, the faith that is truly driving you? That, the Gita suggests, is where all the real value is.